watching World War III on the evening news. Countdown to Looking Glass.
Monday at 8 on Fox 5.
You're watching Fox.
Tonight we get you really into your television. New technology for the prenatal detection of cystic fibrosis. Check up on the new Orient Express and fill up at the gas station of the future. Hello and welcome to Beyond Tomorrow. Also this week I'll report on a solution that puts flames out in seconds. Oh, I'm glad that's over. I'll tell you more about Fire Out in a little while, but first, here's Richard.
Here in Italy, where traditions, architecture, and history are held in deep regard, the national railways face the problem of how to introduce high-speed train service without ruining the villages and countryside they love. Other European countries have invented expensive superfast trains that require special tracks with very few bends to achieve high speeds. For example, Germany's intercity experimental train, France's TGD, and West Germany's very fast magnetic levitation train. The Italians have come up with a solution to the problem. The train is called a pendolino, which means pendulum in Italian. It can maintain speeds of up to 120 miles an hour on old sections of rail like this, because the whole train has been designed to lean into the curved portions of the track. The tilting train was designed by engineers from the giant Italian company Fiat. It's the curves of the track that limit the top speeds of the trains. By tilting the train carriages, the centrifugal force encountered on the curves is reduced, thus allowing the train to negotiate the curves at a faster speed. The engineer's problem wasn't tilting the train, but to initiate the tilt at exactly the right time so as to create a smooth ride for the passengers. The trucks and running gear of the train are similar to that of a conventional train. It's the top part of the train, the passenger compartment, that tilts. The tilting is accomplished by hydraulic cylinders, 2 per truck. In developing the pendolino, Fiat engineers had to devise a system which would not be fooled by minor inconsistencies in the arc of the track. They finally settled on a design which incorporated gyroscopes to give cues of tilting and accelerometers to give cues on the speed of acceleration. Standing in the cab of the pendolino, you really get a sense of its speed and amazing tilting ability. Traveling at 120 miles per hour into a curve, the train negotiates in about 2 seconds, so the hydraulic system has to respond very quickly indeed, in about 1/10 of a second. When the train is going into an S-bend, one portion of the train is tilting one way, while the other section is tilting the other way. The train is linked to 3,000 volts of direct current via the pantograph, which is locked to the tilting system. It's also free to move through an arc of 20 degrees to maintain contact through the tightest bends. One of Italy's oldest train manufacturers is making some of the newest and most innovative train carriages in the world. It's hoped by the end of next year, over 140 of these Pendolino carriages will be online. Traveling between Milan and Rome, certainly an airplane is a little faster, but to appreciate the architecture and beauty of the Italian countryside, maybe a little tilt and a little different angle, for me, gives the Pendolino the edge. So if you're looking for a ticket to ride on a super fast train, Italy's Pendolino may well be an option, particularly for railways in the market for a super fast service, without the expense of building super tracks.
One of the most devastating events that can befall parents is to find out their newborn child suffers from a genetic disorder such as one of the muscular dystrophies or cystic fibrosis. In many instances, the parents don't even know they're carriers. Here at St. Mary's Hospital Medical School at the University of London, Professor Bob Williamson and his colleagues have devised a prenatal procedure that will now diagnose over 400 inherited disorders, thus allowing parents the option of terminating the pregnancy if they so choose. However, there's more involved here than medical issues. This father is not mistreating his child. In fact, he's helping to keep her alive by performing physiotherapy, an activity that must be done 2 to 3 times per day. His daughter suffers from cystic fibrosis, a genetic incurable disease that will drastically shorten her life. Cystic fibrosis affects the lungs and digestive system, and there is no cure for this disorder that affects 1 out of every 2,000 children born. Meet the Haynes family. Ian and Barbara are chemists by profession. Victoria is their 13-year-old daughter. They live in London, but they share fears and concerns with thousands of families in America and throughout the world. Vicky was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at the age of 2.
I've tried to train myself not to think about what's going to happen, but just to try and react on a day-to-day basis.
This is something you've grown up with. What has it meant to you?
Well, I've joined in with everything that everyone else does, but I keep on having to stop for coughs and things like that, and it gets on my nerves all the time.
If you had known that indeed you were carriers, and that Vicky definitely would be born with CF, would you still have been a parent? Would you still have gone ahead?
I don't know really that I would have thought of having children if I thought of that higher risk, really.
Which brings us back to St. Mary's Hospital. Professor Williamson's procedure now enables parents to know if their unborn child has cystic fibrosis or one of approximately 400 other disorders.
We take a very, very small amount of the developing placenta, just a pinhead of developing placenta from the fetus at 8 or 9 weeks of pregnancy, and we also take a small blood sample from the mother, the father, and an affected child in the family. Because the gene itself has not been isolated, we still can only offer this to families where there is an affected child, but we're able to boil up that tiny bit of tissue, cool it down, and just take the DNA straight from that, then run it for 2 or 3 hours in a machine and offer the answer the same day or the next day.
This is the DNA picture that investigators use to ultimately make their diagnosis. This first band is the father, the second the mother, and the third band is their cystic fibrosis child. As we come back over to the father's DNA, we can see the gene that scientists were able to identify as containing cystic fibrosis. As you can see, the affected child inherited this gene and indeed was born with CF. This fourth band represents the unborn child. A blood sample was taken from the placenta at 9 weeks. No cystic fibrosis gene was found. Therefore, doctors were able to predict that this child has a 99% chance of being born without cystic fibrosis. This test was not available at the time the Haynes had to make an important decision. a fact Barbara truly regrets.
The morning of the day when Victoria was diagnosed, I had actually been to my doctor before we went to the hospital and had my second pregnancy confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
And in the afternoon, when the consultant, the paediatrician, said that Victoria definitely had cystic fibrosis, he immediately suggested that I should have an abortion, have the pregnancy terminated.
We know that the isolation of the gene for cystic fibrosis in the next year or two is going to result in offering carrier testing and prenatal diagnosis to a large number of families, and some families will make use of that option.
Absolutely.
On the other hand, finding the gene defect will also allow us for the first time to begin to think of rational forms of treatment for the disease. So the two advances go hand in hand.
Most cystic fibrosis children never reach the age of 19. Not unlike young people with other genetic disorders, their shortened lives are hampered with constant and intense treatment and medication. There are 2 million carriers of cystic fibrosis in Great Britain, 8 to 9 million in the United States, and millions more around the world. Learning that one is a carrier is only the first step. Finding cures for these illnesses is imperative. Professor Williamson believes the research he and others are doing will eventually achieve this goal.
When we started this work, no one knew where the gene defect was. It's sort of as if there was a criminal gene loose somewhere in Britain, and we didn't know where it lived at all. Well, now, with the new techniques, we've carried on until we know the street this gene defect is on. We actually are pretty sure, even down to 3 or 4 houses, which one it lives in. We know the colors of the doors round about. We actually can identify people who are carriers in families by the colors of those doors, but we haven't got the house itself. And of course, to do community-wide carrier testing or to develop new forms of treatment, we have to actually nail the criminal gene itself and find out which house it lives in, why the gene doesn't function properly, what's actually causing the problems in cystic fibrosis.
After the break, a gas station designed for the future, and the world's greatest inventor hits a hole-in-one.
This is the best sounding you can hear. Other place, no good.
Beyond Tomorrow is brought to you by the Coca-Cola Company and your local bottler. When Coca-Cola is a part of your life, you can't beat the feeling.
This year, when the U.S. wins, you win. Look for specially marked 2-liter Coca-Cola products. If the U.S. wins a medal in the event listed inside the cap, you win. Medium Coca-Cola Classic, McDonald's Big Mac sandwiches or fries, or instantly win giant TVs, cars, or $100,000. So reach for Coca-Cola and root for the USA. Because when the U.S. wins, you win. Redeem prizes at participating McDonald's. Post Fruit and Fiber presents new Cinnamon Apple Crisp, and a Fruit and Fiber cereal fanatic who never forgets our name.
Right, never. Hey, this is new. Chunks of really crisp apple, cinnamon. It's fruit and...
Post Fruit and Fiber cereal introduces Cinnamon Apple Crisp with crisp, delicious apples, cinnamon, and high-fiber flakes.
Well, no wonder I forgot. This new taste is terrific.
New Cinnamon Apple Crisp Fruit and Fiber. Tastes so good, you forget the fiber.
Taste the rainbow. Skittles bite-sized candies. Taste the rainbow. Rainbow of fruit flavor. Skittles.
Now there's an Oscar Mayer hot dog that keeps going and going all the way to the end of the bun. Oscar Mayer bun-length hot dogs, roasted for a juicy taste that fits the bun bite for bite. Right, Joey?
Look, but just do one. Get over there and stop moaning.
I was just teasing.
Oh,
It's me, Gary Shandling, and I want you to watch my show on Sunday here on Fox. And this is Tracy Ullman. She's going to tell you the same thing.
Well, yeah, Gary's on, and then my show is on after Gary's.
You're kidding. They told me mine was the only show on Fox. That nothing's before it, nothing's after it.
No, Gary, no, I was it before you, man. Wow, I mean, I breastfed Fox. I'm one of the people that breastfed Fox.
Oh, gee, there's a pretty picture.
You know, needing gas may be a necessity of life, but it's not necessarily a nicety. Think about it. You almost need a manual to figure things out. All right, let's take this step by step. Is it an AM mart or a PM mart, an all-day mart or an all-night mart, a grocery store or a gas station? And then, if we find out it is a gas station, do they have unleaded? Then you have to figure out which side of the pump to pull your car to, and when you find out that they don't have unleaded, and you have to settle for super, well then, the whole ball of wax begins again. Then it's a pump first, pay first, full serve, self-serve. Will they change your oil? Probably not. How about wash your windshield? Forget it. And then after you've pumped your own gas, spilled it all over the front of your skirt or your trousers, all you want to do is send them the cleaning bill, and you know you can. I mean, let's think about it. Really, it's enough to drive you crazy, or at least to your local bus stop. Well, one day, Dutch industrial designer Frans de la Haye decided he'd had enough.
It was very dirty, windy, cold, oil falling onto my shoes, and I thought, I don't know how exactly that happened, but I thought, well, this is an item to deal with. I will try to improve something on an activity that I have to do almost every day in my life.
And so Frans created what he envisioned as the service station for the next century. At De La Haye Station, the only one of its kind, great attention is paid to the customer's point of view. Well, once you arrive at Frans de la Haye Station, you know you've arrived. Let me show you a few of the amenities that Frans has incorporated in his design that helps make pumping petrol a pleasure. Well, the first thing you'll notice is that aesthetics are everything to Frans, right down to the pumping station. All 4 grades are self-contained and color-coded, so there's no confusion. I'll choose unleaded. Now, as for the actual pumping of the gas, it's really a pleasure. The hoses are retractable, they never touch the ground, they stay clean, and so do you. Now, there is no confusion as to which grade you chose because it's printed out, as well as the price, and there's even an electronic newspaper. It's just a shame I don't speak Dutch. And just in case you happen to get soiled, there's a paper towel. And when it comes time to paying for your gas, well, you're not alone. Furthermore, it doesn't take any time. Hang on. Hello in there.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
See, they're even friendly. Now, let me find out. I just want to pay by credit card. Is that all right?
Yes.
Piece of cake. Now, all you got to do is insert your credit card in here, and you're done. And if you think the conveniences end here, you're wrong. Describing a gas station's atmosphere as gloomy, De La Haye went about changing that by equipping the translucent canopy with fluorescent tubing and special mirrors. The result was identical light conditions for both day and night. Yet Frans didn't simply focus on how to improve the environment above the ground, but below it as well. Buses were refueled at this depot over a 30-year period, and during that time, a great deal of gas and oil seeped through the ground. It takes crews up to 3 years to properly clean the soil using water, chemicals, and a special bacteria. Multiply this a few thousand times in larger cities, and the effect on the ground and the water supply could be called devastating. So in dealing with the environmental protection issue and the high cost of cleaning up the soil, Frans designed this sloping concrete floor, and I should tell you, color plays an important part. He tells me it's a cross between, well, ground-in chewing gum and oil stains. Nevertheless, each concrete slab is sealed with a silicone rubber that prevents any sort of spillage into the soil. But should any kind of spillage occur, well, it veers off into strategically placed drains. Below, a catchment system collects the waste products for later removal. It's a modification that so impressed the Dutch government that all gas stations in the Netherlands are being required to incorporate the De La Haye ground safety measures by the year 1992. Made of modular components, the Dutch station can literally be packed up and reconstructed anywhere in the Netherlands. And although it's simply a working prototype, customers now take it as a matter of course, nothing special. They don't see it as a dress rehearsal of what could very well become a worldwide concept.
I think that this concept will turn minds in another direction. That is a thing that is for sure.
Now, you know, after all of that, Franz still isn't satisfied. He's been working to develop a drip-free nozzle. Now, that's innovative, and it could be part of your neighborhood gas station of the future. Hey, let's keep our fingers crossed.
Atop this mound of various papers, files, and research material sits the king of modern invention. And while neatness may not be one of his virtues, that's easy to overlook when you consider Dr. Yoshiro Nakamatsu has over 3,000 inventions and 2,360 patents. Among his greatest, the IBM floppy disk. Nakamatsu, a bit eccentric in his own right, spends hours each day in the solitary confines of his thinking room, eats only foods he's determined are healthy for the brain, has never smoked or drank, and believe it or not, sleeps only 4 hours a day. All that in order to keep the creative juices flowing.
I think environment is the most important key to create invention, new idea, because atmosphere will build up their mind and body, brain.
Nakamatsu, who is constantly thinking of new ideas, even in the swimming pool, began his creative career at the ripe old age of 13 when he invented and patented a non-fuel heater. Since then, his inventions, ranging from the surprisingly simple to the mind-boggling sophisticated, have served major industries worldwide, from agriculture to computer science. One of his latest for the sports-minded, a gold-plated putter that he hopes will become a gold mine. From his Tokyo-based research and marketing company, Nako, we give it a try. Now, believe me, I'm not the world's greatest putter, but this thing, looking something like a tuning fork, does work.
This has a special head, and you can see from sound where is a nice sweet spot, like this. This is the best sound you can hear. Other place, no good. Also, this head generates special signals to teach you the distance. These signals comes from here through this gold shaft and then comes to this grip. And you can feel from this signal how far from your place to the hole.
And you'll make it every time, right?
Yes.
Nakamatsu has spent 10 years taking strokes off this putter, combining human mechanics with nature's resources. The final product, an iron gold and aluminum alloy putter that makes even the worst golfers feel like the pros. And after a long day of sinking putts on the links, how about a little rest and relaxation? Nakamatsu has the answer for that, too. It's called the Cerebrex chair, derived from cerebral and excellent. In Nakamatsu's words, excellent cerebral conditioning. But before you get to rest, you have to take a little test. Sort of a before and after. Now, unsteady, no. Wish to lie down? Sure. The computer asks simple questions and tests you on exercises like math and memory. Your results after your sleep are supposed to be better than before. I'm exhausted. This fatigue test has taken it out of me. We're going to try this chair out. Dr. Nakamatsu's brain chair works something like this. Electrical impulses are generated through the footrest, the small of the back, and the back of the neck. The impulses stimulate the brain's alpha waves, important for proper brain activity. In theory, this chair gives the user 8 hours of sleep in just 60 minutes. Does it work? Well, in a test of 600 people of all age groups, the test scores increased an average of 40%. Me, well, maybe I needed a little more sleep. Dr. Nakamatsu is obviously a very healthy man, and his latest invention runs along those lines. Sort of a health food, sort of not. It's more specific. It's Yummy Nutra Brain. And we have snack to watch TV clearer by. And the other one is Yummy Nutra Eye. Very specific body parts you've gotten towards here. What's it all about, Doctor?
This is a completely new inventions in the field of food. In the past.
Now, if all this sounds a little far-fetched, consider this. Nakamatsu put 18 years of research into these little packets. Each contains a scientific combination of elements that help the brain perform specific functions like seeing and
Sometimes
thinking.
even if good for health, for body, not healthy for your brain sometimes.
Feel smarter already, Doctor.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You can bet Dr. Nakamatsu will be eating his yummy brain food. He's going to need it. The doctor's begun work on his next invention. What is it? Well, all he'll say is that it's computer-related, possibly many times more significant than his floppy disk. Up next, user-friendly TV technology.
Welcome to interactive television.
And Beyond Tomorrow travels Chicago to London in under 2 hours.
They arrived a couple years ago on an automated ship, and everybody's first response was fear. Despite their size and looks, which, by the way, I'm still not too crazy about, they proved to be non-threatening. In fact, they adapted so quickly, people just got used to them. But I've been a cop in L.A. a long time, and I'm telling you, there's something about them that doesn't feel right.
Prepare yourself for Alien Nation, rated R. Starts Friday, October 7th at theaters everywhere.
Enjoy extra sugar-free gum.
You get extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra long time for you.
Sugar-free Extra is unsurpassed in fighting cavities. That's right, unsurpassed in fighting cavities. And Extra has NutraSweet.
Extra refreshing flavor that keeps coming through. Extra sugar-free gum lasts an extra long time for you.
Extra helps fight cavities and lasts extra long.
I still can't believe how amazing you are. So sweet dreams, little Katie. And sweet dreams for me, too. Because I'm about to have something so rich, so creamy.
General Foods International Coffee's Cafe Vienna with the spicy sweetness of cinnamon. Unlike anything else, turning quiet time into a quiet celebration.
Celebrate the moments of your life.
With General Foods International Coffees.
My new Toyota Corolla? Oh, well, one look and logic just flew out the window.
Out the window?
It's gorgeous. I fell in love. I've been loyal to Corolla since graduate school for good logical reasons.
Such as?
They're affordable, they haven't let me down, and they hold their value. But this is a whole new dimension. It's so beautiful.
Legendary value, Toyota quality.
Who could ask for anything more?
The McQuades are back, and the school bully doesn't stand a chance. On 21 Jump Street, Sunday.
Daily special values at Burger King.
Went to Burger King Monday.
Monday, 2 regular burgers for 99 cents. Tuesday, 99-cent bacon double cheeseburger.
Something different on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, a 99-cent Whopper. Thursday, 99-cent double cheeseburger.
Then I win again Friday.
And a 99-cent whaler on Friday. But get Burger King daily specials while they last.
Or say bye-bye, baby. We do it like you do it at Burger King.
When I order deli at Wallbounds, the first thing I want to know is, how is the roast beef? Ooh, beautiful. Then, can I taste the seafood salad? And then, Al, can you slice the mustard cheese paper thin? Then, driving home, the smells. Every cell in my body is screaming, eat. I want to rip open that bag and dive right in. Thank goodness for seatbelts.
There's more to Wallbaums than what's on our shelves. Come share our values.
Hi. You're looking at an ordinary image on television. You're there, I'm here. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little more control of what you see?
Welcome to interactive television.
Well, it's not really interactive television. Watch this. Hey. In reality, I really dance like this, though. Not a very pretty sight. But now we have the technology to manipulate images to the way we want them. Let me show you. That was great, Pete. But what the heck was I doing?
Well, these two machines are not only responsible for the music, but they're also producing the pictures.
Ah, wait, let me hit one. An image. Another image. Let me play a little tune. Ba ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. That was neat, but how did that work? I didn't quite understand that.
Well, each note's controlling a different thing. For instance, this one makes the image go forwards, this makes it go backwards, this stops it, and this cues up to a frame we've already chosen. And so I can play a piece of music and play the pictures along with it. Like that.
Well, how do you sequence all that then?
Well, in the same way that we've sequenced up the music, we can then record a sequence of notes here for the pictures and have the pictures recorded as well.
Well, Pete, you're the maestro, so take it away. Essentially, Image Pump allows sound and visual images to be moved in perfect synchronization. It's capable of handling up to 1,000 events or images per second. Absolutely terrific.
Pete, what does Image Pump mean to you as an artist?
For some time I wanted to be able to develop oral and visual imagery at the same time. The pump offers the ability to incorporate visual elements into the process of composition with the same degree of speed and flexibility as we're used to with modern music equipment.
Tim, what do you see as the future of the system?
Well, we're going to be using the ability that our system has to provide live video in sync with live music for nightclubs and for big stadium concerts and shows like that.
You, moving beyond 2000, what do you see happening?
Well, because we're basically involved in control, we can take advantage of all the advances in new technology. Optical storage media, for example, flat screen technology, the control of a whole range of other devices which as yet may not have even been invented. Eventually leading into domestic environments and the ability to produce rooms that respond. When I wake up in the morning with a hangover, I don't want to talk to the room, I want it to be there for me with a nice womb-like environment.
Thank you, gentlemen.
But how does this all work? We have a limitless amount of monitors, potentially an unlimited amount of images sourced from videotapes, laserdiscs, and live action, all integrated to music. It sounds like a programmer's nightmare, but in fact these systems are all a slave to this black box, a computer built by Xylo. But what does this all mean? Entertainment. All right, we're going to look for volunteers here.
Thank you. Thank you.
The present system, although sophisticated in terms of audio-visual presentation, is merely a second stage in Xylo's development. Given more time and another $1 million or so, the team have plans for the truly interactive show, where audience members can actually control what they see and when.
Okay. New, it's different. You might even view it as fringe activity.
But fringe activities have a habit of moving into the mainstream.
If every picture tells a story, this one is deceiving, for nestled within the old world quaintness of the Bavarian countryside, a half hour from the Czech border, lies a mecca for scientists and geologists from all over the world. For centuries now, man has spent a great deal of time and money to learn what goes on above him, on the stars and the planets, and what goes on here on Earth. But for now, we know very little about what goes on below us, in the underworld, if you will. Well, over the next 10 years, scientists and geologists will be gathered here in Bavaria. They plan on spending a great deal of time and about $250 million on a program known as the Deep Boring Program, KTB. They hope to drill the world's deepest hole, 9 miles deep into the Earth's crust, the first leg on a journey to the center of the Earth. Even though the center of the Earth is closer to New York City than New York is to Honolulu, it's remained virtually inaccessible. Well, scientists hope to change that with this endeavor so complex that they'll drill 2 holes. This is the pilot hole, and it will bore 5,000 meters into the Earth. It will allow scientists an opportunity to test new drilling and gauging equipment. Throughout the project, a probe will bring up rocks, fluids, gases, and measurements that will teach us more about the deepest stratum of the Earth's crust than we've ever known before. Does it excite you to think what might be below? Do you have any idea yourself what you think is down there?
Well, this of course excites us, and as I told you, of course, in the beginning we had an idea of how the structure should look like, but if we would know everything, we would not have to drill. We expect many more surprises, and as I told you, we have a few surprises so far.
Vindesheschenbach may seem an unlikely site for such a fantastic voyage, but its geological history makes it a natural. Here, the oldest rock deposits were formed more than 6 million years ago. Although the superhole, with a circumference of a mere 38 centimeters, will only penetrate the Earth's crust the way a needle would an orange, a wealth of information is expected to be gained. Presently, the Russians hold the record for deep hole boring, but difficulties, including the irreparable bending of the drill hole, has brought that project to a standstill. Well, the KTB scientists hope to avoid those mistakes by utilizing new boring technology, including a rod which registers any deviation in the drilling axis and steers against it. The deep hole drilling rig is a fairly conventional one, driven by a rotary shaft, the kind used in oil and gas explorations. But there have been some modifications, not the least of which is this, and I can tell you it's extremely heavy. It's a diamond-tipped drill bit, and it costs about $10,000, and it has to be replaced about every 200 feet. It's the only drill bit that can probe granite-like masses at temperatures of 500 degrees, but geologists agree it's well worth it. Retrieving a core sample is painstaking, and the atmosphere on the rig resembles that of a labor ward. For in many ways, geologists see this as a process of giving birth. And to further ensure a successful core run, special drilling mud is used to carry cuttings and to cool and lubricate the boring hole and drill. Each core run averages 1.5 meters per hour, and after 6 meters, drilling ceases. It takes 40 minutes to bring a core sample to the surface, and it's rare that a full 6 meters of rock is retrieved. But the day we visited the rig, the run was a complete success. Brought to the surface, a round-the-clock team of scientists and technicians are ready to accept the samples in a huge on-site lab. One of the advantages to an on-site laboratory is the fact that geologists can immediately begin examination of the core rock that's been brought up. And this is a piece that was brought up just moments ago. Now, to a trained geologist, he can immediately see 2 things. Number one, the pattern on the rock, which was a surprise because it indicates that it came from an area inside the Earth that was bowl-shaped with a sharp incline, almost like a mountain. The second thing to note is that at one time, and that time happened to be about 500 million years ago, this was sand. And through time and extreme heat and enormous pressure, this is the end result, which is, by the way, on its way to dozens of laboratories and hundreds of tests. The deep boring program is so advanced that technology didn't even exist yet to analyze the samples. Here, 4 prototype machines have been developed to virtually recreate the rock's life history. One of the first tests is one that calibrates the rock's magnetic composition. A computer then records the results. Further on, a sample is placed in water where sound waves measure velocity. Now, as most field work is done using seismic measurements, this is considered a key parameter, allowing scientists to compare what they've hypothesized to actual data. This newly developed X-ray machine allows technicians to analyze the chemical composition of the rock and then record a mineral profile. When When the final stage is reached, geologists plan to carry out tests aimed at a better understanding of the zone between the Earth's crust and the mantle, that deep layer which encloses the molten and then the solid iron core of the planet. This data will be of major importance for earthquake and volcano research. Vindesheschenbach has become a first-class geological pilgrimage and has already been dubbed by some the Apollo project of the geosciences. The rock being brought to the surface is as highly valued in international labs as moonstone. And just as the astronauts marked their greatest achievement with a small flag on the moon, so too have the Germans marked a small plot of land 200 meters from the pilot hole as a site of the journey that will bring man closer to the heart of his existence than he's ever been before.
Bicycles have been a big growth industry in the 80s. They're cheap transportation, good exercise, and fun. But we all know what a nail or a piece of glass in the road can mean. Rubber repair kits, elbow grease, and a long walk home. A few years ago, plastic tires which didn't have an inner tube and couldn't be punctured appeared on the market. Unfortunately, they were a bit unreliable and didn't give a smooth ride. Well, now a California chemical company is trying again with hard tires, and this time they say the bugs are gone. The secret of these tires is their polyurethane foam, which has millions of tiny cells. These pockets of air help take the bumps out of the ride, and no amount of punishment will flatten this tire. Okay. It should cost about the same as an ordinary tube tire. However, they're a bit lighter, and the makers say that once they're fitted, they're virtually maintenance-free. Solid tires are also being tested for cars. They should appear as spare tires in new cars sometime in 1989. If polyurethane really catches on, instead of burning rubber, we could be burning plastic.
When we return, the solution that gives firefighters the one thing they don't have, time.
Here's where the feeling begins. Earth, wind, and fire. Coca-Cola Classic.
The feeling's real, you know it can't be beat. Get started to the system, you can feel it in your feet. Ah, the taste of life, feel the magic that it brings. The ultimate sensation when you've got the real thing. Coca-Cola Classic, can't beat it, can't beat
it. Sometimes you need a little finesse, sometimes you need a lot. Sometimes you need a little finesse. Sometimes you need a lot. Sometimes you need a little finesse. Sometimes you need a lot.
I feel like I wanna be feeling. You move me off of my feet. I've got that M&M's feeling. Kick back and feel the beat. So carefree, they fit any plan. Their chocolate melts in your mouth, not in your hand. You wanna grab on to that
M&M's chocolate candies.
Hurry, Phillips. They're waiting for your report.
Poor Phillips. She took a cold medicine for a stuffy nose, and now she's getting drowsy. If only she could go back and take Sudafed instead. You see, fast-acting Sudafed starts to work in as quick as 22 minutes without drowsiness. So you don't get drowsy, you get relief.
Hurry, Phillips. They're waiting for your report. Let's go.
Sudafed for fast relief without drowsiness.
On the outrageous conclusion of Married with Children.
I lost my wedding ring down Zorro's pants.
The girls are in deep trouble.
Steve is gonna go crazy.
Because the ring isn't exactly lost.
I got it from the guy whose underpants they were wedged in.
Girls better act fast.
What are we gonna do?
Because the guys are plotting revenge. Married with Children, Sunday.
A message about Drexel Burnham.
The investment banking firm of Drexel Burnham
believes increased employee ownership can help revitalize American companies. A year ago, WFI Industries in Seattle was deeply in debt. More than 1,000 workers had lost their jobs. Union leaders turned to Drexel Burnham for help. Thanks to a plan developed by Drexel, WFI Industries has just become Unimar International, 73% employee-owned. Here's Don Little, the new chairman of Unimar.
We choose to invest in the company that we work for, which means that we have chosen to invest in ourselves. And you're entitled to have whatever that produces. Good jobs, good benefits, good retirement, and that's what this is all about. We cannot ever forget what Drexel has done for us. We definitely would not be here today if it were not for Drexel.
Drexel Burnham, financing America's future.
The space shuttle is basically a very large airplane attached to an enormous fuel supply. A fuel supply that is necessary to allow the shuttle to achieve orbit. This system is costly and cumbersome, and as we know all too well, dangerous. Aerospace engineers are now attempting to develop a new space plane, a plane that will take off horizontally, achieve orbit with just a single stage, and return to Earth, landing on an existing runway. The technology being studied and developed that will be needed to obtain this goal is also propelling flight into a new era, the era of hypersonics.
The idea of an air breather is like a conventional jet transport. We'll only carry the fuel and extract the oxidizer from the atmosphere. So the potential for a lighter weight, a more flexible aircraft, the potential of operating off conventional runways, the potential of rapid access to space and return. They're the exciting potentials. But the research will tell us whether that air-breathing option has real potential.
The shuttle carries its fuel and oxidizer with it. The space plane's fuel will be hydrogen, which it will carry on board, but it will get its oxygen from the atmosphere. To accomplish this, the plane would have to reach speeds of up to Mach 25. That's 25 times the speed of sound. To give you an idea of just how fast this is, you could fly from Los Angeles to Tokyo in less than 2 hours. In the beginning, NASA would like to use the plane to perform the tasks now done by the shuttle. They insist it would be cheaper and safer to operate. The military publicly states it wants the plane for reconnaissance missions and to service, place into orbit, and retrieve satellites. However, they are vague when it comes to any other uses they might have in mind for the craft, stating that that information is classified.
We are in about halfway, a little further through phase 2, which is a technology development phase. The first phase was concept development. Technology, now we're building the technology. And we're heading toward a decision point in late 1990, whether we have the technology ready, whether we have the potential applications look correct and so forth. And then the partners will decide that if ready to go design and build the X-30, which is a research vehicle. And that first flight would be in the 95-96 time frame.
Congress has allocated $3.3 billion for this project, which should fund the actual building of a research craft that will be called the X-30. America isn't the only nation that is interested in an aerospace plane. Germany and Japan are also studying air-breathing vehicles, and British Aerospace is involved in constructing its own version of a space plane. Although the government of Great Britain has stopped funding the project, private investors are still involved. Currently, NASA and the Department of Defense are jointly pursuing development of the X-30. But if the concept of a space plane proceeds on schedule, then by early in the next century, it might be possible for you to leave Chicago after breakfast, have a luncheon meeting in London, a dinner meeting in Sydney, and be back in Chicago by bedtime.
Being on fire is a horrible feeling, but as you can see, this fire retardant suit protected me.
Now, had these been normal clothes, time would have been the difference between life and death. That's where the solution used to extinguish these flames comes in. Each year, thousands of lives are lost, homes burn, and millions of acres go up in smoke. The cost is incredible. Many times, the lack of water or difficulty in getting enough to the blaze is the difference between minimal and total loss. This chemical, appropriately named Fire Out, has proven itself when mixed with water to extinguish flames 3 times faster than water alone. Fire Out is a non-toxic, biodegradable solution. To look at it, it appears much like a common dish soap, but it does feel much different. It's cool to the touch. The active ingredients remain a mystery because of patent reasons, but we do know that it works. Mixed with water, Fire Out essentially reduces the temperature at which water vaporizes. And as a vapor, water more easily absorbs heat. This effectively cools a fire more quickly. Fire Out was developed by a volunteer fireman in New York State purely by accident. With the help of a chemist, it's now being marketed, and some fire departments are using it on a regular basis. The town of Springfield, Illinois, has made the use of Fire Out compulsory for all fire calls. To test the solution, we've stacked 2 piles of wood, same size, same makeup. These volunteer firemen will put the first fire out with just water. Now, this fire has been burning for several minutes. It's very hot. With it, firemen will use a mixture of Fire Out and water. It's ready to go, so let's see what it's got. The difference is obvious. 1 minute and 50 seconds and just 88 gallons of water to extinguish the flames with the Fire Out and water mixture. Compare that to 3 minutes and 6 seconds and 240 gallons to do the same job with water alone. Firemen who use the product say the hotter the blaze, the better Fire Out works. Being promoted to firefighters as a first attack weapon. Its cost is reasonable, about $16 a gallon. But unfortunately, the mixture, 1 part Fire Out to 500 parts water, make it difficult for home use. It is, however, being looked at for industrial and residential sprinkler systems. Right now, Fire Out is being used in about 10% of fire departments in the United States. But if you consider the millions of acres and dollars lost each year to fire, not to mention human lives, the potential for this product is immeasurable.
Now, we're happy to say Randy didn't even singe his eyebrows while doing that story. But of course, for people who work with a serious fire hazard all the time, the risks are much greater. I'm glad to see you're okay.
I tell you, there were times when I wondered, but in the end, no worse for the wear.
That's good to hear. Now, after any serious accident, good first aid treatment can make all the difference. And the faster, the better.
If something had gone wrong while I was there, this new Kanzler paramedic system probably would have been the first thing that we would have turned to.
It's been designed with burn victims in mind. Basically, it's a waterproof bag lined with a soft, non-adhesive wound dressing. You use a couple of liters of saline solution to wet the lining, then lie the patient in the bag. Well, you getting comfortable in there?
I'm getting there. This zippered flap attaches to the top, and a double zipper along the side, right here, allows a doctor to treat the patient's wounds on the way to the hospital.
You can add more saline at any time, and there are handles underneath for easy lifting, like these. Uh-oh, got to get the heavyweights in here.
Easy lifting, easy lifting.
Zipped in here, Randy wouldn't be able to see his wounds either. Now, that helps keep the patient calm. And, of course, injuries stay clean as well.
Now, you should start seeing the Kanzler system in the United States by next year. You'll first see it in oil refineries, around factories, and even in gas stations, anywhere where there's a chance of accidents, especially with fire.
Hopefully, we'll never have to use one of these.
Hopefully not, but if you don't, it might work as a sleeping bag, Gary.
That's not a bad idea.
I need a moment in my day.
Yes, sir. I've got a Tuesday tap.
Make myself at ease.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Nothing's like being invisible, and nothing's better for seeing the forest for the trees. Than the good to the last drop feeling of Maxwell House, only Maxwell House. That's the good to the last drop feeling of Maxwell House and me.
Pedigree gives my dog everything they need. Just look at the dog. You have a solid base of meat. I think Pedigree Dry and Pedigree Canned is a perfect combination. I believe in Pedigree.
Pedigree and Pedigree Mealtime. Recommended by top breeders.
I was practicing my hook shot when she walked in.
Looks like we're working together.
Brains, talent, she had everything.
This story's hot.
Including bad breath.
Something wrong?
I moved to the right, the left. There was no escape.
Excuse me.
Somebody like her.
How could I forget Scoop? Bad breath germs, goodbye. Wow, I'll show him.
Oh no, not again.
Hi.
Her breath.
I figured it out.
Right. For a positive reaction, the power of scope. Now that we cleared the air, we could finally get down to business.
Why, I like new microwave stuffing from Stovetop.
It's so easy. I can make it with my eyes closed. You just mix it in its own dish. And zap! In 3 minutes, you get your favorite tasting stuffing. See?
New Stovetop microwave stuffing.
We're about to find out who keeps babies driest. Ultra Pampers Plus, Loves, or Kleenex Huggies Super Trim diapers. And who gets the vote? Huggies Super Trim. Only Huggies has the dry touch system, a slim blue middle layer that funnels wetness into the padding and helps hold it away to keep babies drier than Pampers and Loves. Huggies, champion of the dryness games, and a victory for babies everywhere.
You've read about her. This week, watch her.
Think you can handle it?
Holly Robinson in 21 Jump Street. Sunday.
Aerobics can be a lot of fun, especially if you're just watching. And if you can hear what's going on, well, that's all the better. Of course, I don't make a hobby out of spying on people, but if your hobby is bird watching in the wild or maybe hunting, this set of Japanese binoculars may be just what you need. It has a directional microphone mounted on top, connected to an earpiece right here. Now, makers of these binoculars say it will pick up bird calls 200 feet away. But if you're out shooting, don't forget to turn off the mic and remove the earpiece before you pull the trigger. Well, that's all this week. Next on Beyond Tomorrow, a breakthrough in the skies with the helicopter of the future. Electronic anesthesia takes the pain out of a visit to the dentist. And we visit the House of Tomorrow controlled by telephone. And
why not try the 21st century's photocopier? Using laser technology, we can duplicate anything in 3D.
That's all for now. Join us again next week as we journey beyond tomorrow.
While the other networks are airing the presidential debates, turn to your alternative, Fox, where tomorrow night you can see 21 Jump Street, America's Most Wanted, and Fox Comedies, followed by a delayed broadcast of the debates at 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, on many of these Fox stations.